Hey, 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 happy Friday. Welcome to the Off the Rails Sports Podcast, our recap for Thursday. Oh, God, Thursday, beautiful. April 3rd, 2025. Where is it going? We're already a full week into the baseball season. God, goes quick, huh? We only have 600 more weeks to go. All right. I'm your host, JT, and if you could hit that like and subscribe button, I appreciate it. So we got a couple more people. It was kind of nice. If you could leave some comments, we always like to know what you're saying. I really enjoyed my being able to do with Brian. It's and I like Scott too. It's I just like I keep saying, I sound like a broken record, but I learned so much, and especially Brian's opinions on the extensions and crochet. And we're both Red Sox fans. I think we look at the prism a little deeper. I think for me, something broke in me, maybe. He's still a believer, but something broke in me after 2003 when Boone hit that home run. I mean, I was so happy about 2004, don't get me wrong, but I was always reserved. I was like, oh, yeah, if it happens, it happens. And then we go down 3-0 to the Yankees, and then we make the miraculous Lazarus-like return. And I was really happy. I actually made a poster of a lot of different newspapers. I was in Seattle at the time when we won the title, and I was just, I don't know, 1986 really took a lot out of me too. And I was like, I just think I'm going to be one of those guys who's going to be dead at 90 and never see the Sox win a title. And now we're living in a life of luxury and opulence because we've had 4 titles basically in 20 years, which is more than anybody else in baseball. Even though Bruce Bochy has 4 titles by himself with 2 different organizations. But all right, we'll get to baseball in a second. But like I said, hit that like and subscribe button. It means a lot to us. Let's start with the NIT, the Forgotten Tournament. They got the NCAA Final Four. They got the Crown Basketball Tournament where they actually get money for their NIL. And I do not know how that gets distributed. I don't know if it's for future NIL or they get to chop it up among themselves. But actually, it's a better tournament. I was watching a little of it tonight in Vegas. And, it was actually pretty good. Um, Tonight we had in the NIT, though, which used to be the second biggest tournament, University of Tennessee Chattanooga in overtime beat UC Irvine. You don't know any of these teams because everybody who had money actually went to the other tournament. Villanova beat USC 60-59, which those are pretty good names. But I guess I'm kind of watching the Crown tournament. I heard an interesting thing the other day that they had to take down all the lines on the Crown tournament because it wasn't NCAA sanctioned. It's kind of amazing. You would have thought it would have been because these teams are doing what they want. I'm interested. Is there going to be somebody down the road, billionaire, whatever, who takes 30 million bucks and says, you know what? I want the 8 best teams, or I want the 5 best teams to play a round robin. And the winner gets, 8 million or, whatever, something really big, something for TV. And we literally get no crappy teams. You get the Floridas, you get the Dukes, you get the Houstons, you know, just, or 6 teams, 2, 3 team leagues, you know, play 2 games, then you get to the playoffs and then you have a Final Four. You play 4 games, win $8-10 million. It's all about programming and it's all about eyeballs, and especially if you can get the blue bloods to peel off, it could happen. Nobody's talking about it, but we're living in an era where the Big Ten and the SEC keep talking about leaving the NCAA, and they might. I could see where it be more financially prosperous for them to actually have their own tournament. Not deal with the NCAA, keep the cash for themselves. I guess we'll see. It's all about money, isn't it? And they try and push that bullshit that it's about the kids. You wonder how they sleep at night. In the NBA, in the association, biggest story was John Morant. He once again used the finger gun after he made a three-pointer during Thursday's 110-108 win against Miami. He had been warned Tuesday when he played Golden State not to do that. And I've seen Gilbert Arenas the last couple days on his little consolatory tour. He wants to be a name, and there was a guy who actually brandished a real weapon because of a gambling debt when he was with the Washington Bullets, I believe at the time, before they came the Wizards. And I've told this story and I'll tell it again. I remember seeing the great Bill Walton, and he was truly the GOAT. He was the GOAT, not just because he did wacky stuff, because he said stuff that nobody else would ever say. And he was commentating on a UCLA game, and Gilbert Arenas was with his little clown posse over there on the sidelines watching USC play or UCLA play Arizona. And they were joking and giggling, and Bill Walton, in that moment of clarity, said, "Yeah, Gilbert spent plenty of night on my couch." He goes, "I fed him a couple times, took him in, treated him well." And he goes, he has to live with the decisions he made. And I was like, wow, wow, no cover for him. Like, you know what? You did a horrible thing in Washington, and you've got to live with it. There is no redemption. It's like the end of Titanic, right? When you're praying for a forgiveness that doesn't come. And that's Gilbert Arenas. And he can be on Dan Patrick all he wants, and he can do all these other shows. Sorry, I ain't buying it. There is no forgiveness for that. What he did. He's just a punk. He's just a punk who's got a jump shot. That's all he is. NHL, real quickly, we're going to go through. The Avalanche, my favorite, the team I'm picking to win the title, beat the Blue Jackets 7-3. Cole Makar, 1 goal. Nate McKinnon, who'd be an MVP in any league that didn't have McDavid, a goal and 2 assists. I'm telling you, this team is getting hot, ready for the playoffs. We're a week and a half away from the playoffs. Get ready to roll. I'll be talking to Scott about that tomorrow. MLB, the Reds lost their third straight 1-0 game. First time since the 60 Phillies have done it. I think it's only been done 6 times in baseball, 4 times between the year 1900 and 1917. Couldn't tell you the teams. We can go through what happened in Major League Baseball. The Sox beat the Orioles 8-4. The Sox finally get to go home. They're 3-4 on the road. Not bad. They went through Texas. They went through Baltimore. It's not really that bad. Phillies beat the Rockies. They're 5-1, getting ready for the big series this weekend with the Dodgers. The Astros trying to figure it out. First game on the road, they beat the Twins in their home opener 5-2. D-backs lost to the Yankees. D-backs are good. D-backs are really good. Brian, what am I going to say? The guy's smart. He really brings some perspective you don't see a lot from baseball guys. The thing is, everybody's clamoring for the Dodgers, and there is a lot of people who are just contrarian to be contrarian. Brian, maybe there's a little of that in him, but he backs it up with facts. And he's talking about San Francisco and Arizona. I don't want to speak out of turn, but I think he picked Arizona to get to the World Series. I picked Philadelphia. Really, you really gotta stretch it to find somebody other than the Dodgers. But you know, I I'll tell you what, the D-backs are good. They are really, really good. The Brewers beat the Reds 1-0. Like I said, third straight 1-0 loss for them. It's a tough year, man. That's just how it goes. All right. If you could, though, please hit that like and subscribe button. It means a lot to us. Leave some comments. I'll be back tomorrow with Scott, and I will be back on Monday with Brian. I look forward to both of them. Hey, hit some winners out there, okay? I'll see you soon.